Good Monday morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with Daily Technical Update. It is the 9th of December and today we'll start with Tesla that had a very good day Friday. Once again, pushed above minor resistance here at 384 and a quarter and is likely to test the previous peak here at 414.50. That means back above 400 we are likely to see that and possibly new all-time highs. On the overall index, S&P 500, 0.25% up Friday, and we are here on the daily chart. We are a little bit higher, as we can see, dancing around the 138.2 projection at 6,080, 6,090. We are close just above. I think we could see it pushing higher in the coming days, but we are a little bit stressed, but there's no divergence. It actually canceled that, so I think we'll see higher levels in the coming days, but that correction could occur after this massive move. The Nasdaq 100 had a very good day, almost 1% higher, 0.9% higher, and above 21,500, and is likely to push to the 61.8. Projection of this correction here at 21,717. I think we could push it higher. I think we could see 22,000 before year end. Seems very strong. No divergence on the positive RSI indicating higher levels, and we could push higher in those coming days and weeks. The Dow Jones index, on the other hand, a little bit struggling here, trading in this range here, just below the 138 projection at 45,078. A little correction, but I think eventually it will also turn around and push higher if it takes out these level here at 45 and 74. Then we are in for a push higher above 45,000, 45,400, 600, 700 level. And on the Asian market this morning, Seng had a very good day, pushing higher above resistance 19,925, likely to test the resistance here at 2,322. I think it could also push higher. What will be key is that if RSI can close above 60 threshold, if it does that, well, then there's potential back up to 21,000, possibly higher up to 21,600 level. On the European market, we had EUROSTOXX 50 keeping up and pushing higher, very close to the 5,000 here Friday. And pre-market, we are up about 0.5%. I think we could break the, at least test the 5,000 today. Let's have a look at here pre-market, what we are looking at. Here we have the EU50 CFD, which is indicating higher highs, and 5,000 very close to, as we can see, and I think it will push higher here towards Christmas, and there is room up to the 5,100 level. On DAX also very strong week last week. Friday was a little bit muted though, but it has been really front running the European markets, and we are here all pushing towards 20,522. No divergence on the positive RSI. I think we could see a push up there, and then we should have a bit of correction, but let's see when that kicks in. Pre-market we are a little bit higher here at 20,446. I think we could push higher here in towards the 20,550 level. France has enjoyed a free ride, almost finally being dragged higher above the 73.41 resistance. Next one is this gap area here at between 74.52 and 75.11. That can be a little bit of a struggle, and for now it is trying to get above the 100 and the 55 moving average, and the RSI is trying to close above 63. So let's see if we can do that. Pre-market, it is pushing higher, so that will be interesting if it can continue and stay above, but I believe so. We have the 60 threshold being broken, and it actually took it out Friday, so I think that we could see a push higher here in going into this week. Euro dollar, well, it still has the possibly or potential inverted shoulder pattern in play. It did spike above the falling trend line, and it did spike above the resistance here at 106.10, but it didn't manage to stay above, so it is still a potential one. So we'll adjust this and say, okay, well, if it breaks higher, that will be key, but for now it hasn't confirmed it. The RSI is still negative sentiment. If it slides back and takes out the what could be the left shoulder here at 104.60, if it takes out that, then I think we can conclude that this inverted shoulder-head shoulder has been cancelled. And what I would do just to clean it up a little bit and remove this so we can see where it actually what's actually going on. So that will be key here the next couple of days. Will it slide back below that level, or can it actually close above 106.10, or will it move back below 104.60? That is the levels you should look out for. And if the RSI moves back below the 40 threshold, expect that picture, the bearish picture, to play out with the potential down to below 103. Cable, sterling, dollar, in a correction mode, spike to the 200 moving average, almost got rejected or faded lower. We'll probably have another go at that level, and maybe the 61.8 retracement, 128.33. There is room up if it can take up to that. There's room up to 786 retracement and 129.28, but I'm not quite sure we'll get there, but there is room up to that. That'll be key. If it slides back below 127, I think we'll see a downtrend to resume, and it will be confirmed if we push back below 126.10, and then I think we'll see it also, the RSI closing below 40 threshold, and we are likely to resume downtrend. Euro sterling, we can see key support here at 82.70. That's really key. I mean, we have spiked it below a couple of times, but it seems like there is really some strong interest there. And if they can't hold on, if it's really being taken out once again, I think we will see a push lower towards and below 82.50. But we are still in this big falling wedge-like pattern here. And if it starts pushing above the upper falling trend line, it could break out bullish. Dollar yen usually is one of the most volatile FX crosses, but at the moment it is fairly muted, basically just trading sideways. Didn't do much Friday either, and this morning not either. I just tested the 149.40 support. Could bounce. I think we could still see a bounce up to 151.74, which is a 38.2 retracement of this correction move here. For it to establish a bullish trend, it needs to get back above at the 152.70. We are still above the cloud, but we are in a negative sentiment. So indicators can't really find out which one to prevail here. We are above the 100 moving average, which is also positive. The 55 moving average still rising, which is also positive. So I think at least we should see a bounce up here to in this range here. But then we have the 200 moving average kind of putting a lid on it. So that will be interesting to us. But if we move back above here, that level here, and also especially taking out 153 and a quarter, then I think we'll see it pushing higher. Euro sterling. If it will update, here we are. Euro sterling not really doing much either, dancing around this 158.5 area. Should correct up to the 160.20, which is a 38.2 projection, retracement, sorry, and just below the cloud. We are in a bearish trend, and I think it will slide lower, be a negative sentiment, no divergence, indicating likely lower levels on euro yen. The Aussie yen has reached the 786 retracement, 95.47, and is currently bouncing. If it takes it out, I think we'll see it push down to this stronger support here at 93.60. If it can move back above the 97, then I think we'll see 98 being tested, and then 99 is really strong resistance, where we have the 100 coming down, we have the 55 coming down, 21 coming down. A little bit of correction could be seen in this area. What we can do, just to give us an idea, if this plays out, we can add this. We can see the 38.2 retracement just around the resistance there. Sterling yen. Sterling yen is in bouncing mode, rebound mode, or correction mode, and was up to the 38.2, could bounce a little bit higher to the 93.70, 90, 194. Then I think it will slide back. I don't think it will get back all the way up to the 61.8. If it will even get about above this 38.2, because we have the 100 moving average kind of putting a lid on it. We are still negative sentiment. There's no divergence on the RSI, indicating likely indicating lower levels. And if it takes out 180, well, then I think we'll also go below the 187.19, and we will then find it down here at around 183.70, 183. Aussie dollar very close to test the spike down here, or the trough down here from 5th of August, support at 63.60, starting to rebound a little bit, but we are in a bearish trend. Slightly divergence maybe, but nothing to talk about, I think, but a little bit of correction could occur. But we are in a bearish trend, and if you're looking at the weekly chart, we can also see what's actually going on. We can see we are down here with these spikes here, where we usually, where Aussie dollar usually turns around, so maybe we should have a bit of correction. However, the difference this time is all moving averages are declining massively, and the 55 is being rejected here just below the 55 on the 100, and the 200 are also declining. So the underlying is really heavy there for Aussie dollar. The dollar Canada closed strongly Friday above 141 and has moved up to test the 138.2 projection here at 141.74. I think it could push higher, but we are seeing some divergence building up here, so maybe it's a little bit stressed, but I think if it takes out, we are very close to take out that, and I think that we could see it at 142, 143 maybe up here in this region here. If it slides back below 141, then expect to back in the range bound area. Sterling Canada, very strong move that ended the last week and also early this morning above the 786 retracement. I think we could test the previous peak here at 181.51 fairly shortly. Positive sentiment, no divergence, likely to push higher in the coming days, but do expect a little bit of correction kicking in, maybe testing the cloud from the upper side, but there is actually potential higher. Euro-Swiss, well, still in this bearish trend here, sideways range, trying to push below the 92.70, but managed to close back above it. Still, we are in an 8%, but you can see it's really not giving any direction. However, the moving averages are all declining, indicating likely lower levels, but I want to see it close below 92.70 because this is just false spikes down. But I wouldn't be caught long here. I would actually wait a little bit, but it is really hard to say what the Euro-Swiss is doing at the moment. It's like it can't really decide should it push lower and go below 92. We are in negative sentiment also on the weekly, so we should push lower, but it seems like the sellers are running out of steam and power and can't really push it lower here, so be aware of what's going on. If it takes out the lows here from Friday at 92.55, then I think we could see 92 being tested. Dollar Swiss on the other hand, in a big correction phase here, and I know there are a lot of lines here on the chart. First we had this rising wedge-like pattern, and then a correction after breaking bearish out of it, but didn't really do much. It did spike down to 61.8 of this last leg up here, but also 38.2 of the entire uptrend here around 87.45, and that could be key, and it's formed this falling channel-like pattern here. there was divergence, as you can see here on the RSI, so it was indicating an exhaustion of the uptrend and a correction. If it moves back above and takes out the falling trend line here, then expect a push higher towards the 90, 89, 50, 57 peak here. So it's a little bit frustrating at the moment, because then all these spikes here, which direction should say, should it be bearish down here? There's still a risk that it will slide slowly lower towards 86, 82, where we have some 786 retracement of this uptrend here. Excuse me. So it's a little bit up in the air at the moment, but with a bearish undertone, short term at least. And here we also have the 55 moving average coming up, and will give it some support. So there is a risk down it will, then we will have a strong bounce. On the dollar index is not less frustrating. Also a lot of spikes down here. If it can push above this falling trend line here, and especially a back above 106.73, if it gets back above that, then I think we'll see a dollar index resuming uptrend. So also keep an eye on what your dollar is doing, and that could, so your dollar Swiss and the dollar index very closely related somehow. So look out for that. If it takes out the lows from Friday at 105.41, then I expect to push lower towards 104.31. Gold is still in this range here, just above the lower part of the cloud, still closing in the cloud. Above 26.05, spiked a little bit lower. If it can get back above the 55 moving average and take out this 61.8 retracement at 26.77, then I think we'll see uptrend resuming, and it will be confirmed if RSI can close above 60 threshold. So that's what you should keep an eye on. But if it pushes back below 2600, then there's room down to these lows here around 25, 45, 25, 36. Silver also still not really doing much. It has tried to push high, but it really needs to take out 31.54 and the 55 moving average, getting back into the cloud at least. But there's some strong resistance, and we need the RSI to get back above 60 threshold for any upside potential. But so for now, it is still caught in this range trade. Copper, on the other hand, seems to gaining a little bit of momentum, building a short-term bullish trend that could take it. I think 430 should be tested, and then key will be, will the RSI close back above 60 threshold? If it does, well, then there's potential up to 438 and even up to 449, 450. If it slides back below 470, I expect the 406 here to be revisited. On the energy side, we have the crude oil contracts very close to testing support here at 66.72. Here's the WTI. If it takes out that, well, then expect a push lower, and I think we should have a look at the weekly chart just to see what's actually going on in the broader picture. Then we will see a push down to around 64, maybe lower, but for now it's still holding on above the support here at 66.72. Could bounce from it, but moving out is a lower. Same here for the Brent Crude oil, 70.72 support, still holding on, but if it's taking out, then I think we'll see at the bearish trends here on the weekly resuming. We'll see lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and possibly lower low towards 64.60, but it really needs to take out that support level there. On the gas market, we have the Dutch gas here, Dutch gas TTF, currently testing the support. Friday did test the support, could test it again, 45.86, and we have 45.35 because that is the gap area here. But if it takes out that 45.86, then I think we will see at least it dipping into the gap area. But if it closes below the gap area, which is below 43.96, well, then there could be a push lower to 42.5. If it does bounce back from here, it could cancel the abundant baby and the potential double top pattern. That has not yet been confirmed. It needs to close below 45.86. The Henry Hub natural gas Henry Hub natural gas bounced here in the early session this morning after testing just around $3 and bouncing, could push higher now and towards the previous peak here at 356 and resume uptrend. US 10-year Treasury yield is testing the 4.14 support at the moment, could dip down to the 7.86 retracement of the last leg up here at 4.10. We are currently showing a negative sentiment on the RSI, with close below Friday, so there is a risk down there. However, we still have the 55 moving average rising, but there is a risk to test that level on also the upper part of the cloud area here in this corrective mood. So if it moves back above 420 and above the 200 moving average, then I think we will see uptrend resuming. On the 2-year US Treasury yield, just a few pips away from the 38.2 retracement at 4.025 and the 55 moving average coming up here. We do have negative sentiment on the RSI, close below 40 threshold Friday, so we are actually in a negative sentiment. However, we could bounce from here and then start building up. We can see here early this morning it is actually bouncing a little bit. If it can get up and close this gap area we have up here, and what I will do, I'll adjust that. If we close above 420, uptrend is likely to resume. On the EURBUND futures contract, that has pushed higher, but it's like it can't really push higher from the 136.29. It has spiked above. It closed just below on the weekly. It closed just above on the daily, so there is potential higher, but it seems a little bit stressed. However, there's no divergence on the RSI on the daily, there is on the weekly, so maybe we should have a little bit of a setback. And what I will do, I will add the Fibonacci retracement to that. I'm not quite sure we'll get all the way down to the 134.29. So what I will do, I will adjust this with this, because this is the more clean uptrend. So maybe a setback to 135.5. I don't think we'll get all the way down there, not just at the moment, because then we also have the 100 coming up, we have the 55, all moving averages are now rising. And finally, when we're talking about treasuries and we're talking about interest rates, well, we have the UK gilts that is fading a little bit, support here at 95.36, but we are in an uptrend, should push higher to around 97. Bitcoin, Bitcoin is sliding back. I mean, it's really struggling to get back above the 100 moving here. The 100,000 level, sliding back below 100,000 again, closed above yesterday, but now back below. And look out for what's going on the RSI. If it takes out the lower rising trend line and does close below 60 threshold, then we could see a sell-off back down to the 92 level and the key support here at 90,680. But we have to grant it, we are still in an uptrend. It hasn't been broken at all, so but it is struggling a little bit. However, if it starts pushing higher and takes out the spike up here just above 104,000, just around 104,000, then expect to push up to 109. Ethereum, let's zoom out a little bit. We are back to test the spike ups here back in March, being rejected. Could see a little bit of a correction. We are in a negative. We don't have negative sentiment, but we do have a divergence on the RSI, so we could see it sliding back to the 3,800, possibly below. We have some support here at 36.81 and at 3,500. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and to talk to you again later.